What is randomness? Are humans random? Why do we need random numbers in computers? Randomness is the lack of pattern or predictability in a sequence of events or data. So, generating random numbers is a very hard job for computers. Why? Because computers are built to follow logic. You give them instructions, they follow them. To generate a random number, you need to be random. But asking a computer to be random is impossible. You can't ask them to generate a random number. It doesn't work that way. Humans have used physical randomness for centuries. I'm talking about the things like rolling a dice or flipping a coin. But how do you get a computer to do that? Can you put a dice inside a computer? Before we answer that, let's ask, why do we even need random numbers? Well, the obvious answer to that is we need random numbers for games. Whether you're opening a chest in Minecraft or playing on a betting website, you need random numbers. Randomness makes games fun, fair, and unpredictable. But randomness is not just for entertainment. It's actually critical for cybersecurity. Random numbers are used to generate encryption keys that keep your messages, passwords, and bank info safe. They are also used to create secure tokens for things like login sessions and two-factor authentication. So random numbers aren't just a digital dice roll. They are the foundation of cybersecurity. By the mid-1940s, the modern world demanded a lot more random numbers than a dice could offer. Rand Corporation created a machine that would generate numbers using a random pulse generator. They ran it for a while and gathered the results into a book titled A Million Random Digits with 100,000 Normal Deviates. The book was published in 1955 and it has 400 pages each containing 50 lines of 50-digit numbers. For the first time, a nice long sequence of high-quality random numbers was made available to anyone who needed it. Scientists, researchers, mathematicians. A similar machine called Ernie, designed by the now famous Bletchley Park World War II code-breaking team in the 1940s, was used to generate random numbers for the UK Premium Bond Lottery. To quell fears about the fairness and accuracy of Ernie, the post office made a great documentary in the early 1960s called The Importance of Being
When the
Ernie.
idea of premium bonds was first thought of, it meant finding a way of indicating prize winners in a completely uncontrolled, random manner which would be scrupulously fair. The electronic random number indicator equipment, ERNIE, was the result. The post office engineers worked out a way of generating random numbers electronically and making them take the form of bond serial numbers. Bond serial numbers have two letters, the first of which shows the value of the bond. A is a £1 bond, B £2, and so on down to Z.
Both of these machines used physical randomness to generate pure random numbers. But this pure randomness creates some problems for programmers, because every time you ran the program, it could behave differently. Imagine trying to find a bug in your code. Every time you run it, it behaves differently. And you would go crazy trying to figure out if the problem is the logic or just a different random number. In modern programming, we use pseudo-random numbers that can be made repeatable using a seed. The idea of a pseudo-random number generator, or PRNG, provided a possible path forward. A PRNG is a random number generator expressed by a math function. It can be called repeatedly to deliver a sequence of random numbers, but under the same initial conditions, it will always produce the same sequence. John von Neumann developed a PRNG around 1946. His idea was to start with an initial random seed value, square it, and slice out the middle digits. If you repeatedly square the result and slice out the middle digits, you will have a sequence of numbers that exhibit the statistical properties of randomness. Von Neumann's approach didn't stand the test of time. However, because no matter what seed value was used, the sequence would eventually fall into a short, repeated cycle of numbers, like this. Avoiding cycles is impossible when you are working with a random function whose subsequent value is based on the previous value. Since then, several newer PRNGs have emerged for different applications. Meanwhile, on the hardware side of the things, in 1999, Intel added an on-chip random number generator in its i810 server chipset. Finally, after 50 years, new machines had a good local source of randomness from thermal noise, a true random number generator, or TRNG. While this was a big step, it was still not as fast as software PRNGs. So high-performance cryptography software still had to rely on a PRNG that could now at least be regularly preceded by the built-in TRNG instruction. More recently, in 2012, Intel added the RDRAND and RDSeed instructions for TRNG using an on-chip thermal noise generator, and AMD followed this as well. So most computers today finally have a decent TRNG, right? Yes, sort of. The RDRAND instructions is surrounded by conspiracy theories. Today, there is still debate over which random number generation scheme to use in OS kernel. There are many variations of algorithms for different speed, space, and security requirements. And security experts are always looking for new ways to generate random numbers.